Welcome to Well Taught Podcast. I'm here today with an amazing guest. I've met her a few years ago and just seen, how what she's been doing, and she's always out there, and to be honest with you, her name, she may even have a new name, as the crypto queen. That's how everyone knows her as a crypto queen, but I appreciate her coming on board, the Well Taught Podcast to give us more insight. Welcome, Ashley Wright. Thank you for being on the Well Taught Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, I've been watching your episodes, watching your show, and it's amazing. It's inspiring. So I'm so pumped to be here. So thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate that. And Ashley, you, with the Well Taught Podcast, I see you now and I see how you're still going, but obviously something was built from there, So I want to take it all the way back. I want to go back to where were you born? What was life like growing up? If you could share that with us.
Yeah, for sure. So honestly, nothing special, right? Grew up, actually wanted to be a fashion designer. So I had no interest in tech, no interest in business or finance. But my journey, what really happened is just my parents started their own business when I was about 16 or 17.
Were you born here?
I was born here in Toronto, right?
Okay.
Grew up in Brampton most of my life.
Gonna
shout that out. have to represent for that.
For sure.
I went to Sheridan College actually for HR.
Okay.
And then, my passion behind that, I actually wanted to be a fashion designer. So that was my real passion when I was starting out. But I'm like, okay, I'm on that path. Let me do HR. Let me be quote unquote realistic in terms of what I want to do. And then, my parents started their own business. And so I got the opportunity to start learning a little bit from them. It started to drip on me a little bit. And sometimes you don't realize, but people around you, their environment drips on you, has an effect, right?
How old were you at this time?
I was about 16 or 17 years old.
Okay,
so I was very young.
Okay,
very young.
So before that, your parents, were they working 9 to 5 type of thing? Before that?
So they were actually working at the bank, average, just 9 to 5 grind. And so my parents, both of them were working at the bank. One of them is going this direction, one's going the other direction. And then I'm the oldest. So the kids, the kids are going to school. There's 3 of us, right? So it was a lot that was happening at the time. And so sometimes you don't even realize there's things happen in your life that literally almost like a curveball can happen. Sometimes it literally changes the direction, right? So that's literally what happened when they decided to
jump. So what was the curveball? What was the curveball?
It was really just, and it wasn't like me. It was everything really came from my dad, right? My dad is with my mom deciding that they wanted more, and then just started to be open in terms of opportunities, wanting to learn more, focusing on self-development. And so he came across an opportunity, a business opportunity to actually start getting into business himself. Okay. And that's what was the game changer that literally just changed our entire journey, entire path. That one decision. Wow.
So what, someone introduced it to him or
Yes. Okay. Yes. And so he got into the space of direct sales and marketing. And really just went full force. Even though he, background Jamaican, right? But decided to venture out. We're always, of course, working hard and really ambitious people too, right? So he was always looking for more. And when he came across that opportunity, he was like, you know what? Let me just put my all into this. And before that, it's before that whole shift, I never thought about owning a business. I never thought about creating wealth, right? I thought that was for people that maybe grew up in that type of environment. So I never really thought about that, or I never knew it was possible. But through that journey of, starting to hang around them when they were going to different meetings or events and stuff like that, I realized that there's actually more to life than what we know today, right? And so that's where I started to shift a little bit, started to go to those different workshops, be around different people, learn how to network, how to talk to people, how to train and build a team and organization. And I was doing that at 17 or 18 years old, right? Which is usually when people go out, they're partying, they're chilling. But I told you, my social life, didn't have one, right? So it was a big shift for me. But that was a game changer.
That's amazing. That shows that you guys must be really close because, parents, like you said, at first they're working. And I guess maybe that was another thing for your dad too. Not only that he wants more to himself, but maybe he wants to be with his family more. Because it sounds like you were with them doing the business.
Yes.
Okay, so you got the ins and outs from early.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times what's that bigger reason as to why you're doing what you're doing, right? What's pushing you? What's motivating you? So yes, for him and my mom as well is how can we spend more time with our kids? Because I think the traditional thing is both parents 9 to 5, going to work, have the babysitter, come home, eat dinner, same thing again, right? And so they made that decision that they wanted more. And that's where I was able to expand my mind and actually think, like, wow, there's actually opportunities where you can actually be wealthy. You can actually be successful, right? And that business can be for everybody. And that was like the game changer for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from then, were you like working along with their business, or were you doing another business? Like, what was going on at that time? Like, when you were learning this stuff, like, were you working with their business, or you had another one on the side, or like, So
I actually was starting with them because I had no idea of how business worked or what it was. Like I said, I was studying HR, but they didn't really teach me how to have the entrepreneurship mindset. So I learned from them. So they were really big on self-development. Even when we were like driving, they were always playing like Jim Rohn and all these places. When I'm young, I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Turn it off.
Play some of the new tunes right now.
Exactly, right? I'm here trying to like listen to like regular music. They're here playing like self-development stuff, and I'm like, who wants to listen to that? But I was forced to really be around them and going to the events, going to meetings. And, you know, as the oldest, right, and a lot of people talk about the success, they don't talk about the sacrifices, but, you know, as the oldest, I got to the point where my parents were always at meetings. And, you know, I was, like I said, maybe around 17, 18, and I'm here watching my younger brother, watching my younger sister, right? But that was their sacrifice of, you know, let me focus on business so that I can build that to the point that I can spend time with my kids, right? From my perspective, though, I hated the idea of business because I'm like, that's the reason why my parents are not home. Right? Why I'm watching my brother and sister, right? So that was like that thing.
It must have felt hard too because you're young and you're like, I'm a kid and I'm taking care of kids.
No, literally, I'm so sure I use that line. I use that line. But that's how I felt because you're a kid and you're like, why am I in this situation? So I had like this whole bad idea of business and what that really meant. But, you know, it wasn't until things started to change, business started to take off for them. We, you know, we bought a new house, bought a new car, everything kind of changed. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should take a look at this. Right? So my mind started to open a little bit, and then I started to, you know, learn a little bit more, be open-minded to what they're teaching me, started to listen to those audios. And then I really just had that shift, and I'm like, man, I love this. I love networking. I love working with people. And started to gain confidence in myself as, you know, someone that can actually achieve wealth, can create their own business. And that's when I started to create my own business.
Okay, nice.
Right, the Right Success. And even though I didn't know exactly what I was doing, because it's a little bit different compared to what they were teaching me, I used the skills that I learned to really just start learning how to build a business from scratch.
Okay. So their business was taken around leadership, right? Because I see, you know, with the Right Success, and that's something that you're about. Of course, you're the crypto queen, but you're really keen on leadership, you know, and I noticed that, you know, in that as well. So I guess from what the places that they went, that's what it taught. I'm taking.
Yes. Like leadership, self-development, which is like the part that I'm more passionate about. Like I love crypto and I love teaching people about how to create wealth, but even to create wealth, everything goes back to mindset, right? Law of attraction, belief, right? And so it's like that is the part, the nitty gritty that makes the difference between you being successful or you being unsuccessful, right? So that's the part that.
Okay, nice. So when did you start the Right Success?
I started it, I believe it was like back in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, 2018. Is when I started, and I literally like created the Instagram, started putting it out there, and I never really knew what I was necessarily doing. I just knew that I wanted to start creating a profile, right, of, you know, inspiring people, putting out that mindset, that growth, and those tools and those resources. And it's like later down the road, that's where, you know, I overheard my parents in 2017 actually. So backing up a little bit, but in 2017, that's when I heard my parents talking about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, all of that stuff. And at the time, no one was really talking about it. So I'm like, Bitcoin, crypto. I'm like, these people are crazy, right? Because no one was really talking about it. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me give it a try. So I went ahead, invested about $300 into Bitcoin, and then forgot about it because literally. This
was 2017, you said?
Exactly, 2017. I'd never done any type of investments before. So that was actually my first
So how did you invest in the Bitcoin at that time? What did you do? Because it wasn't really out there. So how did you get the Bitcoin?
So there were actually one of the platforms that I used called blockchain.com, right? It's still around, but that was like my first platform that I used, right, to actually make my first purchase. So unfortunately, like for my parents, it's a little bit different. Like that time when they got involved, it's like you have to buy it from somebody else, and you have to know and have a network, right? Because they got it early. So they weren't as fortunate, but I was able to go there, purchase it, and then when I went back to check, and logged in, that $300 grew to almost $900. And that's where I got really excited about it. So I was like, I don't know what happened, but I need to do that again. Because I just
so you went back to check on it? Like, what's going on with this crypto thing? Okay. How long of a span was it from when you invested?
It was a few months. I'm not going to lie.
But you're probably always looking at it.
Exactly.
See where it's moving.
Right? So I just got pumped. I'm like, listen, I don't even care who's in this, who's not in this. I need to go out there and just tell the world. So I started using my Instagram, telling everybody, hey, cryptocurrency is the next big thing. You should get involved. You should start investing. And just like, when my parents told me about it, I thought they were crazy. Everybody started thinking I was crazy too. Right? Because no one was really talking. No one really knew what it was. And then it's like 2017, the market started to literally just pump. Everything was going up. And that's when people just started to flood my DMs of like, how do I get in? How do I take advantage of this? And that's where things just kind of just took off from there.
Okay. So what was from there? So you invested your thing, the people hit you up, and then obviously you have the leadership background. So you're like, okay, this is the Wright success, or is that how the Wright success was founded? Like kind of like you started up, because it's not, you said 2018. And it was around 2017 is when you got the Bitcoin, and then or so around that time, like, okay, I need to set something up so I could teach these people. Is that
exactly? Okay. So that's where I'm like, you know what? If I have people coming to me for information and I have that information, why not turn it into a business? So that's exactly what I did. So I started creating online classes, and honestly, like, I didn't even know what I was doing. Like, this is my first time doing it. So I'm just here, and I'm that type of person. I have that mentality, like, if an opportunity comes to you, find a way to do it, even if you don't know how to do it, right? So that's literally how I work today. Like, if you say something, I'm like, yes, don't worry, I got you, right?
Straight up.
And that's what you need to have too, right? Exactly, but that's what I was, just going out there, creating online classes. And then, started to work with different organizations. So just learning how to be a student of the crypto space, but also learning how to start a business, how business really works, a traditional business. And then, I created the crypto strategy program that I have now, the academy, where it's like, now it's more structured, learning how to invest, trade, and earn crypto in about 7 weeks.
Okay, nice.
And things really just continue growing and taking off from there, where of course now I'm the co-founder of Crypto Babes.
Oh wow,
so it's like helping women get into the crypto space too. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, you've been like the women, like a friend of mine, Michael Greaves, I sent it to you. That's my people's, I grew up with him from young, and he's the first person who told me about crypto, right? And he's telling me, I remember I was with him one time, his driver was like, crypto, this, you have to get some kind of wallet, this, like talking all kinds of stuff. Holy, what's going on?
I bet he told you about XRP, didn't he?
Oh, he probably told me about it. Yeah, he told me a bunch of stuff. Like, he was going over my head. I remember, I'm like, okay, that's serious. And after I remember and then I told him to link with you, because then I met you after, and you're talking about the same crypto thing. I'm like, okay, at that time too, I was like deep into real estate too, so you're in a focus mode, and and after so I sent it to you. So, and then I see the crypto community building, I see what's going on, and definitely I invested in 1-2 crypto just here and there, but of course I'm not deep into it, so it's good that you got this knowledge from early, and now you're building and now you're teaching, so break it down, like you said, you have the three stages,
the three income streams. That's right. So 3 income streams are crypto, right? So I like to break it down. So number 1, investing. Right, just buying and holding, which I think most people are, right? Just buy and hold for long term. Number 2 is cryptocurrency trading. So this is like actively like buying and selling, making money on like the day-to-day movements of crypto, right? And then the last, which is one of my favorites, is being able to like earn cryptocurrency or get paid in crypto, where you have crypto coming in, right? So those are the 3. It depends on, what your goals are, how you want to get involved with the space, how much risk you want to take. And that's why I always tell people, like, you need to have a game plan. Success is always planned. You can't go into this aimlessly investing, just throwing it at the wall, hoping that something sticks. Exactly. Right? That's how people lose money. Yeah,
of course.
Right?
Of course,
so it's like you want to make sure that like you're focused, you're just making sure you're pouring in and really just having a game plan, so you can actually be successful with this.
Oh, that's amazing. That's what. So break it down though. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, I already know this is going to go over everyone's head, because crypto's still a new space, and every day there's a new thing, and now NFTs and all kinds of stuff's going on. So break it down. Like give us some insight. So of the three, let's go with the first one. Just go a little more deeper into, you said it's investing in crypto, right? Okay.
Yes. So investing really means that you are, of course, first off, buying cryptocurrency, getting your hands on some, using the right platforms. Number two is making sure you're securing them, which I think is the biggest thing. Because a lot of people are just throwing money into crypto, but they're not making sure their information and their investments are actually secure, like they're using the right platforms, right? Then you also want to think about diversification, right? How are you going to ensure you're picking up cryptocurrencies that are maybe in the NFT space or in the decentralized finance space? Like there's so many. There's like over 15,000 different cryptocurrencies, right? And counting. So it's like you want to make sure you have a really nice, strong portfolio that's still diverse, picking up in different points in different areas, right? And then when we think about the trading piece, which is one of my favorites, it's like cryptocurrency investing can take time, right? You have to invest as low as possible, right? And be able to invest over time as Bitcoin grows. So it's like, we got bills to pay today. How are we going to make money today? And that's where trading, making money, buying it low, selling high on a day-to-day is where you make money. And you can make money even if the price drops. Because a lot of people don't know that too, right?
It's like Forex kind of.
Exactly. So people, like how people trade Forex or trade stocks, same concept. But now with crypto. Right? And
you're trading like against pairs.
Exactly. Right. So BTC USD, XRP USD, which I'm not gonna lie, I like trading XRP. And yeah, but it's a lot of the same concepts of being able to trade them just buy and sell, right? And you can do that even from your phone, even from home, which is what I love to do.
You do trades often on the phone?
Yeah, I do it all. I do it all. Investing, trading, earning, and I love talking about the charts, all of that analysis piece. That gets me excited. Not gonna lie, it does.
So are you only strictly crypto, or are you also like in stocks and Forex and other things?
So I used to, especially from the trading piece, I used to trade Forex. And then I just fell in love with this is how crypto is. Because it's so flexible. The market's open 24/7, which scares people, but I think it's a great thing because then you can trade whatever you want. So I do, like most of what I do is crypto, I'm not gonna lie.
Because crypto, I know it's a new space. I was even at an event a few days ago, and one of my people is that he's I think he's in the insurance payment system, and he was trying to knock crypto, and I'm like, I don't know, man, I don't know. He's like, yo, I'm telling you, I'm in this space, how payments really work, you know. So I'm like, so I like break it down, because you're in there, so break it down, like why is it gonna work? Why is crypto gonna work? Like, why is it the future? Why are there new things in there and it's gonna happen? Like, break it down. I
think there's just so many different factors. So if we think about the money that we have today, right? The dollar. There's so many different factors, right? The value of our currency continues to go down, right? And the thing about it is there's no like max supply, which is the term that we like to use in crypto, right? If they want, they just continue to print more, and print more, right? And that causes a really big issue for us, right? And so it's like, how are you going to, hedge against the dollar that we have, right? And that's something like cryptocurrency, right? Even something like Bitcoin that only has 21 million, right? So it's not like you can just go ahead and create more and the value decreases. The cap is set. So now what happens, understanding supply and demand, as supply goes down and demand continues to go up, which it does, right? That's when we start to see the value of crypto just start to grow, right? But I think it's even bigger than that because, honestly, when I got into cryptocurrency, I was just like, how can I make money with this? But I had the opportunity to start learning and attending different conferences, and I realized that it's actually bigger than just an investment. Crypto is changing the world. There's people that don't even have access to financial services, right? So it's like, how do you get a loan? How do you get a mortgage? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's changing the game because now you can do all of that within the crypto space, getting crypto loans, right?
That's serious.
Exactly. So it's just a total game changer, and it's not going away because countries are accepting crypto. Large organizations, sports, right? I always like to bring up Mark Cuban as well, who was like totally against crypto, but now he loves it, right? But now you can go to the NBA game, pay with crypto to get tickets. You know what I mean? So like the game has changed, and it's not going anywhere. It's just like, do you want to be in front of it or do you want to be left behind? That's literally the question.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, what you're saying is really deep. So like, it's like it's currency that's out there, and it's an alternative form of currency, but it has more value because the value just keeps increasing.
Exactly.
Right? So, but because there's so many of them, how do we know which ones have value? Of course, Bitcoin, we know Bitcoin, but like Bitcoin, but you can get a fraction of Bitcoin though, right?
Exactly, which I think is so important. And when we think about, even, yes, we're talking about crypto, but thinking about the idea of taking like physical assets and turning them into digital assets, that allows us to have fractional ownership, which you can own a fraction, right? So it's just like your point with crypto or with Bitcoin specifically, you can own a fraction of it because it's a digital asset, right? And so it's like crypto is big, but to be honest, like the thing I'm really excited about is blockchain, because that's the piece, the technology that cryptocurrencies created on. That's the piece that's like the game changer, right? Even for yourself in the real estate game, one of my favorite applications is real estate integrating with blockchain, where now people can own, or once again, fractional ownership for digital real estate assets, right? Which is another game changer to start thinking about. So there's a lot more to it, but it's just understanding that yes, you can own a fraction of these assets, and they're all different. Some of them, actually solve a problem. Some of them are just meme coins, like Shiba, Dogecoin. I don't want to. I know some people are invested. It's all good. I bought Doge at one point, right? So, but at the end of the day, like there's just so many. So you just have to ask yourself, does it make sense? Is it in the space that you're interested in? Like, so I always tell my students, like, if you're interested in sports, look at the sports cryptocurrencies, or the finance ones, or even insurance for your friend that's in insurance, right? We're gonna talk to him, but let him know, like, there's cryptocurrencies in that space that are solving those problems too. So there's so many, but so you have to break it down into like what it really is.
So who determines the value?
Great question. So when we think of the value, it's a few different factors, right? So I already talked about the supply, right? We talked about Bitcoin only having 21 million. So supply plays a really big is a really big factor in terms of the price point, right? Which is why Bitcoin's growing so much, because it's only 21 million and there's not enough for everybody, right? So that also plays a role. The other piece is the community, right? Which we can see a lot of those coins, like I'm gonna say meme coins, right? They jump up significantly and then drop significantly too, because of the community that's just hyping it up, right? So that can be a pro and a con, but a lot of people lose money too, right? Because they don't know, they just hear about it on social media, they're excited, they want to get in, and then people are pumping it up, and then it just drops, right? So the community plays a role, of course, partnerships and the amount of money that's behind it, but also the max supply, I'm going to say, is one of the biggest factors too.
Okay, so what, can anybody come with a new coin? Because it seems like there's all kinds of new coins. Like, is there, obviously there's like a regulation process or something like that, but like, can anyone come with a new coin?
Yeah, literally anybody can create their own cryptocurrency. I know people personally that own their own, right? Like that have created their own cryptocurrency. It's just like, same thing, you just want to be cautious, because like, what's the purpose? What's the utility? Like, why are you creating it? Is it going to have value? Are you creating value for it? Or is it just to say that, I have one?
Exactly.
Which a lot of people do. That's the same. That's kind of the thing with NFTs. People just want to create one just to say that they have one. You know what I mean? Versus actually making sure it has value to it. So same concept.
Okay. But you were talking about the blockchain. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing, like, now you're going deep into it, because I heard of the blockchain, and I heard that's just like the thing that it runs on, and that's what you're saying. So, that really sparked something when you said that, because like, okay, this thing's growing, and this is what it runs on, right? So what, are there cryptos like for the blockchain or something like that? Or like, what is it, NFTs for the blockchain?
So when we think about the blockchain in like simple terms, think of it almost like a public ledger, right? And the form of the public ledger is almost like literally a chain of blocks, right? And within each of the blocks is all the data that's being stored from each transaction. And so some of the characteristics of blockchain as to why it's so exciting is the fact that it's very secure, right? So you can use blockchain integrated in different industries in terms of like their data and make sure that it's secure, so you're not worrying about people altering or even when it comes to fraud as well, right? Which is really important. The other piece is the fact that it's really transparent, right? So if you think about the traditional banking system, we're just taking their word for it that yes, they have this amount of money, they're gonna give you back your money, and transactions are gonna happen, right? But realistically, we can't see all that information. So with blockchain, and of course, cryptocurrency being one of the applications of it, now crypto and all these transactions are open. Right, so even if I go on the computer,
so it's public, you can see it.
Exactly. So even if I go on the computer, I can see, all the different transactions that are processing, that people are sending crypto here, or how much they're sending. You can actually see all of that info, right? Which is powerful, right? But at the same time, it's still encrypted, so it's all like super secure, right? And it's really like impossible to hack.
Wow.
Right? So it's like companies are integrating this too to make sure that their data that they have is secured and they don't have to worry about any information being tampered with, right? So there's a lot of pieces to it, but it can be used in so many different ways, and it is, like literally already.
So the NFTs are also on a blockchain?
Correct, correct. So when we think of, like I said, with blockchain, like there's so many different applications or different ways it can be used. Crypto is just one piece.
Yeah.
NFTs is just another, right? And so we start thinking about all these different cryptocurrencies. Like some of them even have their own blockchain.
Okay.
So it's not that there's only one blockchain, but there can be multiple,
okay.
right? So you'll hear like Solana or the Binance chain, right? There's different types of blockchains based on the cryptocurrency, right? So just like how someone creates a cryptocurrency, they can also create their own blockchain.
Okay.
Right, and they all once again do different things, but underlying it all, it's really just that technology that allows all of this to run. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like they all run on that same blockchain, but like is it kind of like a server or something like that? Similar. Yeah, that keeps all the information, all the data. But think of it as something that's more secure, as well as something that is also really transparent. I think probably those are the two main things. Yeah, okay. So yeah, when it comes to NFTs, because I want to get into that too, because this is the new thing that's out there, right?
Yes.
You know, I invested in some calories.
Okay.
I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know, but is the value going to go up though? I don't know. Because I checked last time, it looked like the same.
Yeah.
But or
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. At least it didn't go down.
Oh, okay.
Because I bought a couple, and some of them went down, some of them went up. So I think that's the thing too, is like some of these NFTs, you have to be extra cautious which ones you get into. Because even with like the sports space, it's still a lot of it's very community focused. So it's like sometimes even if a player is injured or if the player's not doing well, like you'll see their value go down.
Value on the player,
right? Or if they get traded, like there's different factors. So it can be so volatile. But then when we think about other cryptocurrencies, like for me, I'm invested in some of the other sports too, like UFC, NFL. And even though I'm not like a big fan, I'm still looking at them as a great investment because they're still really new, right? So it's like, there's different types of NFTs, whether you want stuff in the art space or in the fashion space. It's really great for creatives. But NFTs, and really thinking like, what are they? Stands for non-fungible token, okay? But think of it as, unique digital assets that are all individually different, right? That have their own unique ID or identification number, right, if you will. And so they all individually have their own value. Because if you think about it, let's say, even this water bottle, right? I want to create an NFT, a picture of this water bottle. Even if I have like 3 or 5, right? Even though they look like the same thing, one was created first, one was second, third, fourth, and fifth. So individually, they all have their own value. That's why if you go on NBA Top Shot, the NFT that is worth the most is like the jersey number of that player.
Okay.
Right? And it's like I said, like they individually all have their own value to it. So it's like you can create different things, but at the same time, it's like and ensuring that that's in the space that you're interested in, doing your research as well. Because like I said, some of them go up, some of them can go down. And some of them nowadays are like super pricey, it's like thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it's like, how do you get involved? And I think a lot of what we see on social media, people are like, okay, you need to go buy a digital NFT itself. But the truth is, I don't even when it comes to my students, I always tell them that the best way to actually get into NFTs is buy a cryptocurrency that's in the NFT space, right? Because it's like now, when if you of course buy an NFT, it goes up in value, you're excited. If you want to cash out, because it's a marketplace, someone else has to be in the other end that's willing to buy it from you. Right? But if you just have a coin, you can go on the website, swap it, cash out, and you're good. So it's a lot more liquid just buying the cryptocurrency that's in the NFT space. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But people don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. That's what I'm saying. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that information because, it's going deep and I appreciate and that's what the Walk Talk podcast is.
That's what it's about.
We want to get this insight and let people see, this is what's going on. So, because I get what you're saying. You're saying that everyone has an ID. So like the one that I have with the Kyle Lowry, honestly, it's a championship one. I got it because I love the Raptors.
There you
it's
go.
more because I like it. I love it, but I don't know what to do with it. To be honest with you, I almost even forgot what site it was on. I had to go type here if I search to go check on it. Right? So I guess I don't know, it's becoming I guess everywhere. So how do you control your portfolio? How are you controlling your portfolio?
So that's a good question. So It's different compared to just regular cryptocurrencies where you can just transfer it, move it around, right? Some NFTs they're starting to have that capability of being able to move it around a little bit, but for the most part, if you're going on to something like NBA Top Shot, that's that specific marketplace, right? That's where you're only able to use it right now. So that's where you have to go, right? Yeah. So it's like when you're going through this, you're looking at NFTs, you want to think of which platform it's on, and how it can be used. If you're going to one of the top marketplaces, something like OpenSea, that is a little bit more diverse. You can have lots of different types of NFTs, and some of them now can also be moved different places, right? They're starting to integrate that. But yeah, fortunately, like that one with Kyle Lowry, that's the only place you can have it.
No, I'm happy. You know, I have it right now. Like, when I came to visit you at your workshop, you know, that you're doing, I met Tim. I don't know if you know Tim.
Yes.
Good vibes, you know, and he was breaking down and one twos to me as well as, you know, just like he was going over my head. But, you know, he was showing me his gallery. Yes. So he has a gallery. So it's something like that, like the Kyle Lowry thing. If like, I could put it in a gallery or something like that.
Yeah. So that's the other thing is too, was like understanding like how can these NFTs be used, right? How do we give them, you know, the other community aspect where we can engage with them, right? And all the NFTs are all different too, right? Yeah. But thinking about kind of going your route of like the gallery, that's where we want to get to where, and I've actually started to see it already where it's like you can literally have, almost like having a TV on your wall that's like showcasing like your NFT that you've purchased or like your collection, right? So it's now becoming that thing of, you know, what NFTs do you have? It's like a trend, right? That puts you in a different status. Like, oh my gosh, you have that exclusive NFT. There's only like 1,000 of them, right? So it's like it's kind of that trend, that social circle now, right? That I think we're gonna get to where people are gonna start showcasing it, and which you already see, like on Twitter and different places, people have like their pictures now changed to like the NFT of whatever they have, right? So it is more of like that collection. Even for you, like I know NBA Top Shot has like if you have certain collections, you can get rewarded with exclusive, you know, other NFTs that they have on their platform too, right? So there's different pieces, different ways to it. But at the same time, I think the other thing when we start looking at NFTs is that utility aspect. Like now we have NFTs that maybe are tied to like a physical aspect, right? I think there was like Gucci that launched their NFT. It's like if you bought one, then they're gonna ship you like an exclusive bag or something, right? So it's not just like something digital, but physical too. You get some, And there was actually a really awesome one, Crypto.com. They have a partnership with the Philadelphia 76ers, right? And now it's like if you buy their NFT, you can get exclusive access to some of the games, or like when they're, you know, having their workouts or whatever, right? So it's like you're getting exclusive experiences with purchasing like the NFT, right? Which makes it more exciting, more fun,
of course,
right? And makes you want to buy it, right?
To,
compared to just buying something you're just gonna look at, right? It's now an experience,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Which is awesome.
So is that also on a blockchain, like it explains it? So if you were to buy the NFT, it would say, okay, when you get this NFT, you also get this, this, and this, or something like that?
Yeah, so a lot of them, and that's the thing is you have to research because when you're purchasing it, a lot of times they'll actually have it listed, right? And it also depends where you're buying it, but a majority of the ones that have that extra thing to it, they'll also always showcase that on the same page, even before you buy it. Let you know what's included, if anything's included, because not all of them come with different things, right? But I personally like to take advantage of those ones, and sometimes it requires you to have a collection of a certain NFTs in order to qualify, because they want people that are engaged, people that are actually participating and actually buying NFTs to qualify. So a little bit of work to do, but it's amazing. Yeah,
I see you have like the Back to the Future car or something like that. You still have that or what?
Oh my gosh, I do. I love it.
Okay.
So so I actually bought the Back to the Future DeLorean, like the time machine. Bought two of them actually. And that's one of my favorite use cases for NFTs, because that platform is actually used as like augmented reality. So you'll be looking at it on your phone, and it's like almost like you can project it right there in front of you, right? Which is super cool, and it's interactive. So I click on the doors open. I can turn it around. I can look in the car. It's super cool. I think like for that one, I bought it for like $99, and then I haven't even checked it recently, but a long time ago when I did check, it went from $99 to being worth like $1,200. Right? I have people messaging me asking, "Can I borrow your NFT?"
Wow, how many of those were there?
I think there was only maybe around 5,000 or so. It was very low. Very low. That's why I had people asking me, "Hey, can I like borrow it? Can I take pictures with it?" I'm like.
So how did you get that? Like is there a marketplace like or
So there's a marketplace, okay, and I want to do my disclaimer, right? No, this is not financial advice, but there's a really great platform called VV, right? The VV app, and that platform literally has like tons of like licensing deals for some of the top brands that are out there, right? So stuff like Back to the Future, DC, Marvel, Pokemon, like all these different brands they have access to, and they're creating NFTs for that. So in order to access the marketplace, you have to have the app, but that's also how you're interacting with the NFTs.
Okay.
And it's still fairly new, so there's a lot of opportunities. Because people are still learning about it, but it's taking off.
Yeah.
Like I think they're about to launch Jurassic Park. So imagine having like a dinosaur that you can interact with, take pictures. It's gonna be amazing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know this. Like they're tying it into like the metaverse and all that stuff right now. So I could see the transition that's going on. Yeah, like especially like you have it augmented in your phone, and then you're gonna see dinosaurs running around.
It's super cool. And some of them move too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to start geeking out a little bit, but I get really excited.
I
get really excited. I'm a big like Marvel fan and all that stuff.
So
nice.
It's
pretty cool.
So what you like, you're deep in the crypto, but again, like I said earlier, you're in the leadership, right?
Yes.
And just even from you sharing your story earlier that you were watching, your other siblings, I think maybe that's where you get it from.
Yes.
Because you're looking at your younger siblings, you're looking after them.
Yes.
So now it's like, okay, I want to look after the people.
Exactly.
You agree with that?
I totally agree. And I think also because I'm the first one, so it's like you're the oldest, you're always, like you said, being that caretaker as well. So it's like my goal, and even taking a step further, I really believe my purpose is to help people, right? And cryptocurrency, as much as I love crypto, that just is one vehicle that allows me to do that.
Yeah.
But my joy really comes from people growing, especially growing in terms of self-development, growing their mindset, or even taking it to the step where they finally realize that, hey, I'm worthy of creating wealth, right? I can achieve wealth. And I think that's a thing where sometimes people don't realize they deserve it or that they are worthy or capable of it, right? So it's like, it's bigger. It's so much bigger.
Yeah. And even how you talk to you, like you get people excited. So even if they don't know, like they're like, I'm excited. I'm doing whatever she says to do.
Energized. That's how you get people to move. Right?
Of course. Exactly.
People move when they're excited. So that's what's like, you have to bring and take what you love, add some excitement to it, and that's how you get people moving, get people energized, get them pumped. So I always love that. Just high energy, big energy is what it's about.
Of course, you gotta express yourself. Put yourself out there. So like right now, I know you had like some, like you said, crypto babes. I think you went on tour or something like that. So talk more about that.
So I'm so excited. So I had a crypto tour. So we started off in Miami. So Crypto Babes, like I said, that community for women that are in the crypto space. We had an event out there. I think we had like over 500 people registered. So it was a pretty big event. Everything, our colors are hot pink. So yes, everything was pink. But it was an amazing turnout. It was really, really great. I'm not gonna lie, like it was the biggest event that I've ever hosted in my life. But it was just so great to see so many women there, empowered, feeling included within the crypto space, because there's not a lot of women, right? Especially women of color, right? So my goal is also to bring some of them into the space and help them create wealth with it too. And then after that, I went to LA, had an event out there, which was also really amazing. They're so eager and hungry for information over there, which is, I'm like so pumped.
Nice.
And then it came back to Toronto, in my hometown. I'm like, yes, let's do this. Things finally opened up. Finally, people are excited to go out. So I'm like, yes, let's do this. So we had a great event. You were there, of course, and it was amazing. So many people, such a diverse group of different ages, different backgrounds that came out, and everybody just came to learn. And it was a total vibe. So I'm like so pumped just being able to bring people together and just learn.
For sure, because like something like that is like, you're enjoying your time because it's like you're free.
Exactly.
If you take it, you're free. It's just, of course, there's the disciplines of having like, what you want to do, your strategy and all that kind of stuff. But generally, you're free. You're like you said, you went on tour. You're there, but you're working. And you're serving. Most importantly, you're serving. And that's like the Wealth Talk podcast. Those are the things that we really want to make stand out, because with the map book, like these are principles that we focus on, right? And your form of contribution. So I want you to talk more about that. Like, where do you get that from? And why is that important?
I feel like in order to receive, you have to give, right? So my focus is always, how can I add value to whoever I'm talking to or whoever I'm meeting, right? In any capacity. It doesn't have to be just crypto, right? Because like I said, like you mentioned, I'm more passionate about like, you know, the mindset and development piece, because that's the life-changing part, right? So it's like, how can I give back? And so the other things that I do, aside from all that amazing and exciting stuff, is focusing on working with other organizations in the community. So I've actually been getting a lot of requests to work with like youth organizations, right? I think it was last week, actually, I went to a high school downtown teaching those youth about crypto. Right? And I think they were only like maybe like 15 years old, but they're already raising their hand like, yes, I'm excited about crypto. I know about NFTs. They're excited. I'm like, this is amazing. Right? So being able to give back to the community, to youth, and like I said, even to empower women, that's the part that's like, the part that makes me happy, right? Being able to help them and add value and, you know, even in the space that I'm in where there's not a lot of women, there's not a lot of women of color, I also feel like I have that duty to make sure, you know, I make sure that other people make it with me, because that's like the special spot. There's not a lot of people there. So
why is that important? Why is that important?
Yeah, because I think just understanding, you know, what the scale looks like, right? The space is primarily male dominated, right? So it's like, how can I lead the way for the other women that want to be in this space? How can I lead the way and let people know that, hey, women can be in the finance space, in the tech space, and can be killing it, right? And actually, you know what they're talking about at the same time. So it's like, not only am I excited to bring people in, but I know I also have the responsibility to make sure that I continue for other women that are also looking up to me too.
Wow. Right? And I know like generally women are known to get like lower salary pays when they're working with someone. So here it gives them no ceiling.
Exactly.
Right. So they have unlimited income potential. So you're actually, you know, increasing them in that aspect as well.
That's right. And even with crypto babies, and like I said, we're still in the beginning stages, but one of my goals with it is to be able to be that hub for organizations when they're looking at, okay, how can we hire women? How can we get more women involved? They come to us. So we can actually provide, you know, job and career resources for the women that are part of our group. Or if they want mentorship as well, right? Where people can actually come to us so we can provide those opportunities for jobs, for mentorship, and even for funding for some of their ideas too, right? So there's a lot of different things, but it really just goes back to how can we give, how can we just make a difference? I think that's really what everything goes down to. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
How can you leave an impact? Right? Which what you're doing, which once again I want to applaud you, because the podcast is giving back. Right?
Of course.
Teaching people their mindset, everything is growing by just like telling stories.
No,
right?
I appreciate you. Yeah, you know, for sure. And like I said, like it's I want to bring awareness to the map book, you know, because it's based on those foundational principles, right? And I know you're deep into it as well. I remember I was telling you about it from before, right? And you know, we want to connect with leaders. We want to, you know, get this information out there, right? And I know, like you're because I know I see what you're doing, and I know you're deep into, you know, universal law and like the law of attraction. So I want you to go into that too, because that's important. You know, people understand the importance of mindset. You know, because you're doing the leadership and it seems like that's what you're doing. You're kind of like planted in some mindset seeds in there. So talk about that.
Yes. So law of attraction is probably one of my favorite things, right? The idea of whatever you put out there is what's going to come back to you, right? So it's like even to the small things of just speaking things into existence, things that you want, or writing it down. Like for me, I always have a notebook. Even right now in my bag, I have a notebook, right? So I'm always writing things down, ideas, writing down my affirmations, right, of what I'm speaking into existence, because it works. Right? It 100% works. So I always recommend, like, even if you're not doing it right now, I guarantee you, if you put in the work and you just start putting it out there, what happens is you start attracting opportunities that can get you to what you want. Right? And sometimes you're not even thinking about it, but in the background, unconsciously, it's just coming to you. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. This is exactly what I wanted. And you literally manifested that, right? But it really starts at the mindset, first believing that it's possible, right? That's actually what I say at my workshops too. I always have that affirmation of it's possible, it's necessary, and it's worth it, right? Because it's possible, and understanding that, not even understanding, but believing that it's possible. Because it's like, what's the point of writing this down, saying it out loud, if deep down you don't really believe it, that it can happen? And then understanding that it's actually necessary that you know, achieve those goals. Because sometimes our goals not even just about us, but it's about other people. right? Because maybe you're motivated to do this, yes, because you enjoy it or because you know you have to, but it's because you have maybe people depending on you, right? So it's not even thinking about how your goals are affecting you, but how it's affecting other people that are watching you, that need you to make it, so that they can also make it.
Yeah.
So it's big. It's
big for sure. No, definitely. You know, like 100%. And you know, a lot of times people they'll talk about what they're fearful of. They'll talk about, you know, what they don't want, right? But they don't realize that, you know, that's what they're bringing into, you know,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You have people playing that victim role,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That attract those opportunities. I mean, if you really think about drama, you realize people that like drama tend to attract drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So it's like the same thing. Whatever you put out there is what you're going to get.
Exactly. Yep. It works on the flip side, you know, and on the mindset, mental, like, you know, so, you know, that's deep. And then also, I see also with yourself, like I see you take care of yourself, you go on your vacations, you do, you know, all the stuff because you try, because I see you work hard.
Yes.
You work hard, but you have fun, you know, so talk about why that's important, you know, to give yourself that time.
Yeah, I think, you know, especially as someone that's really ambitious, sometimes you're just always go, because you understand your purpose, you understand your mission, and you're just like, how can I just continue to just build, right? You're so driven, but at the same time, I realize that it's like if you just continue, you're just gonna burn out, right? It's like you have to, for the most part, as much as you can, have a little bit of a balance, or be able to have some structure, right? Of how much time you're gonna be putting in, and when are you gonna have that time to really just recharge, right? So yes, whether it's going on vacation, spending time with family, and whatever it is, because at the end of the day, like, yes, you're working hard, because maybe you want to spend time with your family, but you also want to still take advantage of the time that you have with them today.
With your family, exactly.
Right? Because tomorrow is not promised, right? So it's like, you don't want to take that time today for granted, but at the same time, you want to, you know, work, but enjoy life at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's what it's for, right?
Exactly.
And that's why it's even better if you enjoy what you do, because like you're working, but you're enjoying it at the same time.
Okay.
Right? So that's an important piece.
No, for sure. When you're talking about your family, I noticed that like you're really close to your family. I think even your mother's, like, she works closely with you as well. Like, right. So that kind of stuff is important. So you guys have a really tight family, right?
Yeah, we're pretty close. Like, they were also at the event. Like, they anytime they're able to, they always come out, support, help out. And even till today, like, I still learn from them, right? And really, like, they are, like I said, as we kind of started off the podcast, is literally understanding like that one decision that they made literally changed the entire direction of my life. Because if they didn't get into business and I didn't learn those skills, I honestly probably would have been in HR, right? Or just working still 9 to 5 with no interest in business or even understanding that wealth is actually real.
That's generational wealth right there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because they flipped the whole generation. Because of course, you know, the like even your siblings and even the next generation that you have, you know, you already have that mindset. You know what it's doing, so they're not even gonna even think the other way, right? At least, you know, so that's amazing. And you know, like, family's important, relationships are important, you know, and that's what we want to continue to grow. You know, and I appreciate you coming on, you know, the Wealth Talk podcast, because, you know, and let's continue to build together and build, you know, the community. Like, of course, like I want for, you know, women to see this, you know, and Black women, you know, all women, you know, but of course Black women, you know, because it's all about the mindset and what you know.
Exactly.
Right? And if you know only a certain thing, you're going to do a certain thing. But, you know, if you see new opportunities, even if you're working full time, this is something that you could start off with something small. Like you said, you had $300 to your first initial investment.
That's it.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to have multiple sources of income. You know, and, you know, I appreciate you, you know, giving all these gems. You know, so if you don't mind, just like share how we reach you, like how do we connect with you, like, you know, like, let us know.
For sure. So first off, I say thank you, right? I appreciate you. Because like I said, you're doing some amazing things. You're changing lives already. And I appreciate being able to be a part of that. But yes, in terms of reaching me, I'm very active on social media. So at, you know, The Wright Success, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, as well as, you know, YouTube and everywhere. I try to be everywhere. Yeah,
like what about the events that you do? Are you doing more of that, obviously?
Yeah, so I really love hosting events. I love being able to educate and also bring people together so they can network, right, and have collaboration. So I'm always hosting different events. All the details for that is at, you know, the Wright Events, right with the W. The WrightEvents.ca is literally where I have all the upcoming events.
Okay, yeah, we'll put it up on the podcast as well. No, I appreciate you so much, Ashley. Like, and yeah, like even in NFT, you opened up my mind even to the blockchain, because, you know, before I just heard the blockchain, You know, and I'm just thinking, okay, this is like the thing that it runs on.
Yeah.
Right? But like you're even going in deeper, and you know, it just lets me know that we're still young in this crypto space, right?
So early, so early. But yes, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
No, God bless. I appreciate you.
And thank you so
much. Yes. That was a great interview. I appreciate it.